Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Talk Show. Hope you guys are having a blessed evening. It's good to be back up here. I'm sorry I haven't been up here in a good bit. I've just been busy, so it's good to be back here. I'm recording this video on my new iPhone XR. I love it. The quality is amazing. In this video, I want to talk about the 18th anniversary of WCW going out of business, which took place today, back in 2001. And looking back on this day, I will say that that was the crucial point for the Monday Night Wars. It finally came to a complete when WCW went out of business. Now, there's been a lot of speculating. People have talked about this over the years, saying, did WCW deserve to go out the way they did, or could things be done differently? Well, to be quite honest, to answer that, I honestly think that WCW did deserve to die the way that they did, because they ran too much bad stuff was going on. When Vince Russo was in the company, he was responsible for losing $60 million in 2000 because of the title. I guess the World Heavyweight Champion was changed 25 times in a single year, which to me was completely absurd and really just, I don't know if it was overboard or off the edge. But I will say that the Monday Night Wars actually begun because WCW was more dominant in the 97, 98, and then when WWE went to the Attitude Era, they started fighting back. And I honestly believe that I kind of actually had a feeling that once after the 90s ended, WCW wasn't going to be around for very much longer. And sure enough, here we are now 18 years on this day, and back in 2001, that the WCW met its fate, and they went out of business and closed its doors. Now, that's where I got my exposure of wrestling, was through WCW. I'd grown up watching a lot of some of the wrestlers that are, most of them have retired, like Goldberg, Diamond Dallas Page, the Icon Sting, Hollywood Hulk Hogan in the NWO, Disco Inferno. I mean, I could go on a lost list of names I enjoyed seeing every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday nights, because that used to be, when I was a WCW fan, those would be my three times to see them. But honestly, I will say that there wasn't really nobody running WCW. It was usually just certain people were bookers, and they'll book matches or they'll book their own matches, which to me, again, it was kind of like the inmates running the asylum, so to speak. But honestly, when you don't have somebody running a company and you have just the people running the place, apparently you're not making good money. And unfortunately, there was a lot of bad decision making during the late going to the end of the 90s. Was just too much was going on. And but I will always remember one of my favorite WCW pay-per-views, which a lot of people had said that's one of the best to date, was Starcade 1997, which one of the things I enjoyed back in WCW was used to be the pay-per-view announcements. They'd be showing you who's on the card and who's all competing. And when Starcade 97 was being advertised on TV, I don't know who the announcer was, but it was the build-up between Sting and Hulk Hogan, where he would say, in the long-awaited confrontation, Sting challenges Hollywood Hulk Hogan for the WCW World Heavyweight title. And those were the good old days of the pay-per-view advertisements, which I miss. But nonetheless, despite their fall, which in this case a lot of people have said that they deserved to fall, despite their bad times, I think there was a lot of great matches I've seen. To name off a few, obviously, with Sting and Hulk Hogan. The crazy part behind that match was it was Nick Patrick, who was, I guess, the referee for the NWO, was supposed to do a fast count because Hogan had supposedly defeated Sting. But then Bret Hart, who came into the company just a month after he was screwed at Survivor Series, came, and they pretty much did pretty much the same thing what happened to Bret. Basically, Sting puts Hogan in the Scorpion Deathlock, and Hogan doesn't tap it. Then Bret Hart rings for the bell, just like Earl Hebner did when Shawn Michaels put Bret Hart in his own submission maneuver. So, honestly, don't get me wrong, WCW at the time was a great company. That's where my grandpa got me into that. To wrestling was my exposure. But unfortunately, with bad decision making, nobody running the place, and when and with WWE pretty much took the world by storm with the Attitude Era, which was probably the era that a lot of fans was the best, and I couldn't agree immersive. Um, that's what the Monday Night Wars really took a turn when WWE started kicking WCW in the ratings, and before you know it, by 2001, it was a done deal for the organization. And looking back, obviously it was a sad time, but nonetheless, it was time to it was time to move on. And I honestly believe if WCW had lasted more than 2001, I don't think they would have survived today. They probably would have, if they had not gone out of business in 2001. I would say if they were to live for another year or two, I'd say by 2003 they would have been a done deal. But nonetheless, 18 years ago, my gosh, time really flies by. However, despite all the bad stuff that WCW had its fair share of controversies, just some over the top segments, but the pay-per-views, but Starcade 1997 being my favorite one. And a lot of those wrestlers, some of them are most of them are retired, or they pop up in wrestling events from time to time. I will say that, at least for all of us, if any of us want to view any past episodes of Monday Night Nitro, Saturday Night Thunder, or any past WCW pay-per-view events, that's why we have the WWE Network. I have to say that I've seen a lot of old and new things on the network, and I love it, and it's awesome. I do know that the music and some of the segments are either edited or dubbed over, but nonetheless, WCW will always be remembered for, again, controversies, but they had a lot of great matches. And but yeah, so 18 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, is a very long time since on this day since the company went out of business. My question of the day, viewers and subscribers, what was your favorite WCW pay-per-view, and what was your favorite match? I would definitely love to know in the section. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and please leave a comment in the section. And ladies and gentlemen, I would just have to say, wrestling promotions come and go, and at the time, WCW and WWE were the two top best promotions in the country. Now there's only one. Or who knows, we might get with AEW coming on the rise. I'm sure that's going to be competition. We'll see. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. If you like this video, again, just click the thumbs up. Refresh my videos multiple times a day. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andrew's Talk Show signing off. Y'all have a good night, and you have a blessed week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.